Hi. I thought I'd show you the Luxuri we've been talking about on the Vintage Radio Forum. Now, this is the one I have, which I've had for quite a number of years. And I have to say, when I did the last measurements on it, that it was done, maybe 5 or 6, maybe even longer years ago. And I jotted them down, and that's what I quoted on the forum. But today I decided to just do another full set of checks as well on the set. Now, I didn't do exactly the same as what the guys have done, but I've done what I can. When the set is cold, I'm measuring the total current drawn. When the set is totally cold and switched on from the mains at 240 volts, incidentally, we are drawing 160 milliamps. This gradually drops. It drops to about 145 milliamps gradually as the valves warm up. Then as the HT rises, it drops a bit more to 142. I think this is just down to the way the circuit behaves. The voltage across the valves, once they're fully warmed up, is 124.5 volts. And the HT on the off the rectifier at the reservoir capacitor is 109 volts. The HT after the 1K smoothing resistor is 82.3 volts. And as I say, the heaters are sitting at 124.5. But what was a little bit of a surprise, when I did post up the other day on the forum, I said it was 17 milliamps. And I actually thought it was a typo, but in actual fact, I don't think it was a typo. I'll be quite honest with you. The original bit of paper written it down on looked quite indistinct. It actually looked like 47, but I had originally put in 17, and I actually think the 17 was near enough right. The total HT current I'm getting on this at 240 volts was 22 milliamps, but reducing it to about 232, 230, it dropped to that 17. So that 17 was probably correct. As I say, with 240, which it is today, I'm getting a 22 milliamps HT current, which I would say is right. You mean these little valves, you couldn't operate them at the maximum rated current of 49 milliamps. The set would just get far too hot. Now, we've been down that road before when the capacitor, the dropper capacitor went short. The set was left on for 10 minutes, grossly overrun. How these valves never failed, I'll never know. And I think it was probably for about 10 minutes. The wax on the output transformer had decided to melt because it had got so hot, but there was no damage whatsoever done to the cabinet, and the set worked perfectly well after I replaced the capacitor with a new one. So anyway, that's the figures there. As you can see, that's them. So that'll give you some idea of what to expect on one of these sets when you're working on it. And I checked the value of the dropper capacitor. It should be 2.2, but it's actually reading 2.47 microfarads. Now, these capacitors have a fair tolerance anyway, so I think probably what you should do with these is to kind of select them under load. But I'm quite happy with that. Because the heater voltage of 124.5 is not far away from what it should be. So I'm actually very, very happy with that, so no problem at all. And the set works fine. I'll give you a little demonstration of the set working. They aren't very great at the bottom end of the band, and what I did with this radio, in fact, was I wound 4 turns of wire around the ferrite rod and led out to a couple of sockets on the back, just for to add either an aerial or an earth or a feed from the loop aerial, which is what I do. I'll just give you a demo. Now, that's a very weak station, and I have a funny feeling that is from Radio 4th over the East Coast. They are a bit prone to do this effect, like a bit of heterodyning on some stations, and I've seen that before with one of these. I think it's just lack of filtering on them, to be fair. Not particularly sensitive, but quite good for local use. That's Spirit Radio, which is right at the bottom of the band. That comes from Ireland. But you just feed it with the loop. I'll just quickly tack the loop on. Just give me a second till I'll connect it on. Onto there. And in there. Okay, I think we're on. And we turn the power on to loop. Huge difference. On stations that weren't there before.
And pretty much do most lied to me. I was here when he said. And then just like slowly getting better at it. It was just something. The sky is blue.
Your leg, or hip, push your hip, all the hip, hip for Joan, and a load of Hollywood.
That's Manx Radio. And that's the one that's over the East Coast, Reading, Edinburgh.
Ballygowan, and Freddie Jones and Ballygowan.
That's all Ulster.
Terry Andrews, Angus, There's
quite a good possibility you'd get Caroline here with this, with the loop. Well, it's too early in the day, it's only 2:10. So there we go.
Comfort.
Well, it was kind of weird. I moved to...
So, I mean, for what they are, they work very well, to be fair. Good with local stations. And, you know, night time you probably can pull in 1 or 2 foreign stations, but with the external aerial, it makes a big difference. So it's only 3 or 4 turns around the ferrite rod. The ferrite rod is one of the smallest I've ever come across. So for the set to perform the way it does right now with that is it's pretty good. Anyway, a bit of fun. They do run very warm though. I've never really run this for any length of time. I think probably the longest it's ever been on is about half an hour. But it wasn't very good nick when I got it. It still is quite reasonably tidy. But yes, a bit of fun. I thought I'd just show you how we got on with the voltages and the currents. As I say, I haven't done it exactly the same. So there we go. Okay, thanks guys. Take care. Bye now.